Hello everybody, we're back on this copper tank again, and we're going to try and get this neck fit. This is the original tank you're looking at, and what I did was make just a quick paper template of the neck. You see how that fits nice down there. I made a quick template of that just so I could get close on our brass fuel filler tube. And you can see there's the tube right there. And the tube is just a little bit smaller than the original diameter fuel filler neck, not by much. So I put that on, and I was just basically looking for an angle so I can get started fitting that. And I laid that in my bandsaw, and that angle worked out to be about 51.5 degrees. And that fits nice on there, and the angle and the length are perfect right now. And here's another neck. I believe this is off a two-way or something, and they're a little bit shorter than the CJ5 neck, you can see there. And the cap adapter is already taken off this. I must have stole it to build another tank. But you can see what they did. They flanged the bottom of the neck, and then that's what got soldered down to the tank there. So because this is heavy wall, I don't just want to solder that and put a little fillet of solder or something in there and count on that to hold it. And so I've got a little disc cut out here of 1/8 inch copper. Now obviously we'll have to put a hole in there to get the fuel in there. But that's how that's going to go. So I'm going to show you another method of attaching copper and brass, and then when we're done we'll solder that to the tank. But what I'm going to do here on this joint, just to show you guys something a little different, different ways of doing things. I like to cover, a few different ways to do stuff for different people, depending on what they want to do. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to Tig braze that joint. I've got some silicon bronze filler wire, and we're going to set up, and I'm going to make a little sample of it first, get my settings right. We'll just do it on some steel, make sure we get the settings right, and the copper and the brass are going to take a whole lot more heat. So we'll work on that and make sure we got enough amps in the machine there to get the copper and the brass joined together. So I'm going to make a couple test runs. I'll try and set the camera up and show you basically what it's going to look like. And maybe some of you guys are familiar with the silicon bronze, maybe some of you aren't, but I'm just going to show you a different way of doing it. Instead of silver solder or regular solder or something, this is a whole lot stronger. The color match is pretty nice, and when you see it going in, I think you'll see it's a good way to join this heavy wall pipe. So let me get set up for that, and I'll see if I can get you a close-up TIG shot of that happening. Okay, I've just got a couple pieces of I don't know what's that, 1/4 inch or 5/16 steel, just in a V shape, sitting there on the bench. And here's the silicon bronze wire that is 1/16 of an inch diameter, and basically we're going to run a little joint down here. I could get real close up here on the bench like this. It's easier to jig this up and show you what that's going to look like. But we're not actually melting the base metal. You don't want to melt it. You don't want to heat that so much where you have a puddle of steel. You only need about, I think it's almost 900 degrees. I think it's about 856, 857 this stuff melts at. So you need about 900 degrees in there. And you'll see we'll heat up the silicon bronze, and we'll just dip all the way down there, and we won't actually make a puddle in the steel. And I hope I can get you a shot of that. And basically what you see here is what we're going to do on the neck. So Let me get the camera set up for that and we'll see if we can make a pass. Okay guys, there's a couple of practice runs there that I did just to get my settings kind of close and see where we're at. And you can see the color match is going to be nice on that brass to copper. And it's a very strong joint. Like I say, it's much stronger than solder or something like that. It was kind of tricky getting in there. I had the camera right in the front, so I had to try and reach around the camera to get the bead in there, and it's kind of choppy and not too good, but couldn't get around the camera real well. I will show you the finished tank filler neck, and it should look much better than that because I'll do that off camera and then I'll show you. But that's the basic idea. You're just kind of flowing it in there, and it works real well. And I'll be back in a little bit and show you the finished product. Okay guys, getting some of those TIG shots was a little tricky, but I got the neck TIG brazed to the copper foot there, and here's a shot of it. I just got done buffing it off a little bit, cleaning it up. There's that big area there where the tank dips down over the side, and that's what a TIG braze looks like. That's silicone bronze again. And then I kind of cleaned out the inside, made everything nice and flush so there's no fuel getting hung up on a lip there or anything splashing back at you. So that area is nice and flush there. And we had to bang that side over there. I'm going to take the other tank and show you. That's the original tank on its side. And you can see right here it kind of folds down over the edge. So I had to do that with that piece of copper. And it fits the tank pretty nice. That fits nice there. And now we also have a nice wide foot here. So when we solder this together, we've got a place for the solder to flow and really bite in and hold that neck real well. So the next step is we have to cut a hole in the tank, and I'm going to do that now. And then I'll take the tank down, show you what we're doing, and we'll keep moving on. We'll get the neck going, make sure it's in the right place. Again, we'll try it in the body one more time and make sure everything is going to be exactly what we want before we commit to soldering it. And then we'll solder everything in place. Okay, I'll be right back with you. Okay, here's a shot of the tank with the hole in it for the filler neck. and I'll just go right over that. Kind of hard to see in there, but you get the idea. That hole is nice and flush to the inside, again, so it won't get any splashback or anything when you're filling it with fuel. And the next thing I want to do is take the tank out and sit it in the body one more time, scribe a mark around there, and then we'll come back inside and we'll begin the soldering. So I'll take you out there and show you the body. It's just in a little shed, so I hope I get some camera angles there for you, but I'll show you the body that I built for this CJ5 snowblower Jeep, which is what this tank is going to go into now. So let's head outside. I'll show you that body and show you how the tank fits, and we'll solder that neck on. Okay, everybody, we're out in a storage shed where I keep the body for this CJ5 till I'm ready to work on it again. And I made some, basically made the whole body, saved the cowl. I made the wheelhouses and the floor and the side panels and everything. I made all that stuff out of turn plate so that it won't rust. And I made a extended, very deep glove box there, and I made it out of steel instead of the fiberboard, the original ones. And I made some upgrades to the body. I had some heavy material, so I made the floors extra heavy, and you know, just made it super heavy duty. I made the cowl supports that you see there. I made those out of 1/8 inch because they always rot out, so I made heavy ones of those parts, and just been tinkering away on it, working on this when I can. And it's just full of stuff right now, but we got enough room to fit that tank, so I'm going to go inside, grab the tank, and we'll scribe that neck around there and take it back inside. Okay, be right back with you. Okay, there's a shot of our brand new copper tank in the CJ5 body, and it fits perfectly. And all we got to do is get that filler neck in the right place. Let me try and come around here for you. There you can see how nice that fits in there. And I'll get the filler neck and scribe it in now. Okay, everybody, here's the completed tank. I got that other end panel in. I got the neck soldered in there. I think you can see that okay. And a little tricky soldering the thick tube and flange to that thin copper sheet there, but careful soldering. I got it in there okay. And here it is sitting next to the original tank. Yeah, and I just took it in from outside. I had to wash it off and get the flux residue out of there. So still a little wet. And you can see we've got the what looks like spot welds in for our seam down there, just like on the original. We've got our solder joint in the original place. Sending unit hole. I just gave it a quick once over with some 80 grit on the DA sander because I'm going to be painting this black, so I'm not going to take the time to polish it out. I got a bunch of stuff to do, so when you see this tank next, it'll be in, we're going to put some epoxy primer on it, then we're going to prime it with some regular primer, some 2K primer, and then we'll put the correct color black on there. So that's what a completed copper tank looks like. And there's the cap. And I made a couple modifications to the cap. It came with a steel cotter pin holding the chain in. I put a brass one. Put some brass chain on there instead of the original steel they used. And we'll cut that to length and put that little holder down in there. But there's our cap, and these work perfect. The vent works perfect on these. And that's what that looks like. Try and show you all the angles here. Everything is just like original, except for that cap and that filler pipe, as you know, but everything else original dimensions, original baffle in there. This is a standard size tank, so it'll hold 10.5 gallons of fuel. And I hope this inspires somebody to go out and make a tank, or bring their metalworking skills to the next level and maybe do something, even if you don't make a copper tank, maybe a steel tank. You know, anything but those real junky Filipino ones. If you want to do something for yourself, I hope this video, you know, helped you see the process and maybe inspired you to do some of your own sheet metal work. But that's the completed tank, and I hope you enjoyed the series on building a tank out of copper. And like I always say, if there's anything you'd like to see, send me a comment, and hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. There's always different stuff coming out. So thanks for watching, as always, and I'll catch you on the next video.